Hello, wonderful English learners, and welcome back to English in Advance. I'm Jennifer, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. We're going to talk about something super important, something almost everyone wants to know if they're serious about getting better at English, how to finally stop translating in your head and start thinking directly in English. This isn't just a small tip, it's a huge step forward. It's a common challenge, a tough mental block, but I promise you, with the right ideas and a little steady practice, it's something we can totally get past together. This will open up a world where you can talk easily and naturally. You know that feeling, right? It's like your brain is always busy, always working overtime. You're trying to listen to someone speak English, or maybe you're watching a great movie. And instead of just understanding the words, instead of just getting what they mean right away, your brain quickly tries to change everything into your own language. It's a mental workout. Then, when it's your turn to speak, to share your thoughts, you do the same hard work but backwards. You think of what you want to say in your own language first, then you slowly, carefully change each word into English. It's tiring. And it feels clumsy, doesn't it? It makes you speak very slowly. It creates those awkward, quiet moments that make you feel unsure. And honestly, it stops you from truly enjoying the fun and natural way of speaking freely. This constant back and forth, this never ending translation trap, always holds you back from sounding truly natural. But my friends, I want to tell you for sure, it doesn't have to be this way. By the end of our time together today, you'll have a super clear plan full of simple, real life ways to help you escape this cycle and start using English in a whole new, wonderfully direct and freeing way. This is about making English feel like a natural part of you. Thinking in English isn't some magic power that only native speakers have, or only people who live in English speaking countries for years. No, not at all. It's a skill, a powerful way of thinking that you can absolutely learn and grow right where you are, no matter your daily life. It's about making a direct, smooth link between an idea, a thought, or even a simple thing you see, and its English word. You do this without your first language getting in the way. Just imagine you see a cute, fluffy animal, maybe a golden retriever wagging its tail, and you instantly think dog. You don't first think of the word for dog in your own language and then translate it. That quick, straight link, that direct mental connection is exactly what we want to achieve. It's about building a natural feeling for the language, where you understand meanings right away and your thoughts come to you directly in English, almost like a reflex. So let's explore why changing how you think in this basic way is not just helpful, but absolutely necessary for anyone who truly wants to master English and really enjoy every step of their learning journey. This is about making your connection with English much stronger. Let's start by really understanding why this old habit of translating in our heads can become such a big problem, often one we don't even see. It's a tricky habit. Our brains are super smart and always try to find the easiest way. When we first learn a new language, the quickest way to understand is often to connect new, unknown words directly to the familiar words in our own language. While this helps you understand quickly at the very beginning and get by, it quickly turns into a major roadblock, constantly stopping you from becoming truly fluent and speaking naturally. It's like using training wheels on a bicycle long after you know how to ride. They just slow you down. think about how much extra work this creates, like a speed bump in your mind. Every single time you use English, whether you're listening closely to a podcast or bravely trying to speak in a meeting, your brain is doing a long, hard, multi step mental race. Let's imagine it clearly. You hear a simple question like, "What time is it?" Your brain automatically thinks, "Okay, I heard these English words. Now I'll change them to my own language to understand what they mean. Okay, I understand. Now I'll think of my answer in my own language. Right, I have the answer. Now I'll slowly change that answer back into English. And finally, I can say the English words." Can you actually feel how much mental effort goes into all those extra steps? It's tiring. This long, multi step process always leads to noticeable pauses. Those awkward, quiet moments that make you feel less sure of yourself. These pauses break the natural flow of conversation, making your speech slower, less confident, and less smooth. It's really like trying to dance gracefully or play a fast game with heavy chains tied around your legs. You can move, but never with true freedom, grace, or spontaneity. You're always a bit behind. Beyond just the obvious problem of speed, there's a common and subtle problem where you end up sounding a bit off. My friends, languages are much more than just collections of single words. They are complex, living systems with their own special grammar rules, full of rich idioms and lively natural phrases that just don't make sense if you translate them word for word. When you translate directly from your own language, you will often build sentences that, even if they are technically grammatically correct, will feel strange, stiff, or just not quite right to a native English speaker. Or it's like trying to put together a puzzle using pieces from two different boxes. For instance, in some languages, you might literally say, "I have hunger," when the completely natural English way to say it is, "I am hungry." Or you might directly translate a beautiful, culturally specific saying from your language, only for it to sound totally confusing, or even funny when you say it word for word in English. Think about the English phrase, "It's raining cats and dogs." If you translate that literally into another language, you've lost the whole meaning. This direct, unfiltered translation takes away the natural rhythm, the subtle tone, and the built in beauty and naturalness that makes English sound, well, exactly like English. What's more, this constant filtering translation keeps you always in the shallow part of understanding. When your brain is always busy just translating to understand, you are never truly getting deeply involved with the English language on its own terms, in its own rich setting. You might grasp the clear surface meaning of single words, but you will surely miss the deeper meanings and the slight feelings or moods, and the rich cultural background that specific English expressions and turns of phrase carry. This makes it really hard to truly get a joke, to easily follow a fast, lively conversation, or to genuinely appreciate the deeper layers of meaning and art in English books, music, and movies. You're forever dealing with a language through a thick, limiting filter. You never quite connect with its lively, beating heart. You're missing out on the full experience. Finally, all of this leads to a big and frustrating fluency barrier. True fluency isn't just about having a lot of words or knowing many grammar rules, even though those are important. It's about developing a natural feel for the language, an easy, almost unconscious understanding of what sounds completely right, what flows naturally, and how to easily say complex ideas as they form in your mind. When you stay stuck in translation mode, you are always working at a conscious, thinking level. always breaking down and changing words. You never let your brain fully dive into the natural, smooth rhythm of the language. This makes it really hard to reach that smooth, almost automatic understanding and easy way of speaking that true fluency brings. So, if this constant, tiring translation is our mental enemy, this habit that takes away our natural way of speaking, how do we bravely face it and beat it? The deep answer is to consciously, patiently, and consistently build direct connections. This means patiently and steadily training your brain to link ideas directly with their English words and phrases, skipping that slow, unneeded step of using your native language in between. It's a challenge, yes, but totally worth it. My friends, changing old habits takes dedication, a little bravery, and certainly a good amount of patience. But I promise you, the freedom, the confidence, and the pure joy you gain are incredibly rewarding. This isn't just about learning English, it's about changing how your mind works. Here are some truly useful ways you can start right now, wherever you are, to gently but firmly train your amazing brain to think directly in English. The first way is one of the simplest yet most effective to begin your journey into thinking only in English. It's something you can literally do right now. Start by physically labeling the everyday things around you in your daily life using only English. Imagine you have some colorful sticky notes. Grab a pen and boldly write table on one, then stick it on your kitchen table or your office desk. Write chair on another and put it on your favorite armchair. Do the same for your door, your window, your fridge, even your favorite mug. Every single time you look at that object, make a clear effort to say the English word in your head. If you're alone and feel completely comfortable, say it out loud softly. The sound helps your mind remember the connection even better. But please don't stop there. Take this practice further to the basic actions and common ideas that fill your whole day. When you find yourself eating your breakfast, just think eating. When you're walking down the street, simply think walking. If you see something that is a bright blue, directly think blue. The most important part here, the main idea of this whole exercise, is to skip the translation completely. Do not think the word for blue in your own language and then blue. That's the trap we're trying to avoid. Just directly connect the concept or the object or the action with its English word. And as you get more comfortable with these single words, gently push yourself to make short, simple sentences in your head. For example, the table is brown, or I am eating an apple, or the door is open. This seemingly small, repeated action starts to actively build those important direct pathways in your brain that work only in English. The real power of this method comes from doing it regularly and gently all the time. Make it a fun, almost automatic habit throughout your day, even if it's just for a few minutes here and there. It's about creating a constant, soft, but very effective way to see English in your own space, making it feel less like a foreign language and more like an extension of your natural thoughts. For a long time, many of us, including me when I was learning, used bilingual dictionaries a lot, constantly jumping between our own language and English. While these are certainly fast for quick, surface level searches and can be useful when you need something right away, to truly help you think in English, you absolutely need to switch to English English or monolingual dictionaries. This is where you start to understand things deeply, where you begin to think about English in English. It's a game changer. Here's how to use this powerful tool. When you find a new English word, make it your firm rule to look it up in an English dictionary. Read its meaning carefully and perhaps even a few different meanings if they are there to get the full picture. Then, very importantly, look at the example sentences provided, noticing precisely how the word is used in different situations, with which small words like on or in what common phrases. Your main goal here is to understand the word through English meanings and English examples, not by immediately changing it into your native language. Why is this so strong and helpful? Because it forces your brain to make connections only within the English language system itself. You're not just learning a word, you're learning its slight differences, its similar words, the subtle shades of its meaning, the situations where it works best, all by using only English. It might feel a bit slower at first, almost like solving a language puzzle, needing more mental energy. But believe me, this seemingly slower way builds a much stronger, much more natural understanding of words and fundamentally helps that important habit of thinking only in English. You'll be glad you did it later. For English learners, I highly recommend easy-to-use resources like the Oxford Learners Dictionaries, Cambridge Dictionary, and Merriam-Webster Learners Dictionary. They are carefully made with clear, simple meanings and lots of example sentences, making them perfect helpers on this important journey. They're your new best friends. This next idea is perhaps one of the most powerful things you can do. Oh, it lets you be your own personal English teacher, no matter where you are in the world. It's free, and you can do it anywhere. All through your day, start to talk about your actions, what you see, and even your quick thoughts to yourself. Completely, either silently in your head or softly out loud in English. This is your private mental space. No one else needs to hear it. This is where you truly start to live inside the English language. Start with the simplest thoughts, almost like telling yourself what's happening. As you do your morning routine, you might think to yourself, I'm getting up now. I'm going to make coffee. The water is boiling in the kettle. I need to get dressed for the day. It looks sunny outside today. These are very basic actions right now, and they are your starting point. As you get more comfortable and know more words, slowly add more details and complex ideas to what you're saying to yourself. You might find yourself thinking, I'm making a cup of green tea right now. I usually prefer green tea in the morning because it's so refreshing and gives me a gentle boost, without the jitters I sometimes get from regular coffee. I should probably check my emails before I start work. The traffic outside sounds a bit heavy today. I'm really glad I don't have to drive to the office this morning. Don't just limit yourself to actions. Actively describe everything you see around you and everything you hear, what you smell, and how you feel. Describe the people you meet, the places you visit, and even your own feelings. I'm feeling a bit tired today. Or, this music makes me feel happy. The amazing beauty of this exercise is that it's only for you. So please, absolutely do not worry about making mistakes. This isn't a test. The one goal is simply to keep your brain actively processing and creating thoughts in English. You can even use this for solving problems or planning your day. Mentally ask yourself, what do I absolutely need to do today? First, I really need to call the bank about that payment that was processed incorrectly yesterday. Then I have that important team meeting at 2 p.m., which I can't miss. After that, I should really go grocery shopping before the stores get too crowded and close for the evening. This internal monologue habit is wonderfully powerful because it turns every single moment of your day, every quick thought, into a lively personal chance to learn English. You are constantly using, engaging, and making your English brain stronger, making it your go to way of thinking and speaking, which is exactly what we want for true fluency. While just listening to English, like having it play in the background, is good for simply being exposed to the language, active listening is much, much better for truly training your brain to think directly in English. This means actually getting involved with what you're listening to or reading, not just letting it pass you by. It's about being focused and doing it on purpose. When you read for deep understanding, whether it's English books, interesting articles, or even fun social media posts, develop a strong, unchanging habit. Fight that immediate, almost automatic urge to translate every word you don't know. That's a habit we're breaking. Instead, your very first instinct should be to try and understand the meaning from the words around it, the context. Look carefully at the words near the new word, look at how the sentence is put together, and think about the main idea of the paragraph or article. If, after truly trying to figure it out using clues from the context, you still can't quite get its meaning, then, and only then, use your reliable monolingual dictionary. The main goal here is to follow the ideas in English, letting your mind understand things directly in the language, without stopping. To make this easy and fun, always start with materials that are a little bit easier than your current English level. This makes sure you're not overwhelmed and can understand steadily without always having to look things up, which can break your focus and your drive. Likewise, when you listen actively, perhaps watching English movies and TV shows without subtitles, or at first with English subtitles only, or listening to many different English podcasts and music. Don't just let the words go by like background noise. Pay close attention and truly try to actively listen for the main meaning, for how the speaker's voice goes up and down, for natural ways of speaking, and for common phrases. If you need to, feel free to pause the audio or video and even repeat phrases you find interesting or very useful to remember them. This repeating really helps. And speaking of repeating, a way to practice called shadowing is truly amazing and highly recommended. This involves listening to a native speaker from a podcast, a video, or an audio book, and then trying to say what they say almost at the same time, copying how they say words, how their voice goes up and down, and their natural speed as closely as you can. This remarkable exercise trains both your mouth and your brain to make English sounds and patterns naturally, helping you to remember phrases directly without needing any translation at all. The main point here is to purposefully surround yourself with rich, real English and engage with it actively, always trying to understand it directly, letting your native language kindly step aside as a middleman. It's all about direct interaction. When you find yourself in a situation where someone asks you a question in English, even if that immediate, almost automatic urge to think of your answer in your own language first comes up, make a clear, firm choice to force yourself to think of the answer directly in English. This is where the real work happens, where ideas turn into actual fast speaking ability. It's a very important step for talking in real life. To build this vital muscle, actively practice with simple questions. You can find lists of common questions or ways to start conversations online, such as, "What did you do today?" "What are your hobbies?" Or, "Describe your ideal vacation." Practice answering these questions out loud to yourself, always in English, without translating. If it helps, you could even record your answers and then listen back. noticing any times you paused or could have phrased things more naturally. This checking of your own work is incredibly valuable. When you're in a real conversation, make that clear, conscious effort to create your answer entirely in English. Yes, it might feel a little slower at first. Yes, you might make more mistakes initially, and that's totally fine. That's how we learn. But this act of creating English directly is absolutely crucial for breaking the translation habit. The more often you do it, the faster, smoother, and more wonderfully natural your answers will become. Every single time you purposefully make your brain think and create answers directly in English, you are actively making those important brain pathways stronger. This makes it easier for your mind to skip that translation step and speak with ease. It's truly empowering. This next idea is perhaps the most advanced, yet at the same time, the most effective way to truly think like a native English speaker. It's a big one. Instead of thinking of an English word as just a direct, exact copy of a word in your native language, train yourself to see it as a label for an idea or a clear picture in your mind. This is about taking the meaning away from specific words in your native language and linking it directly to the English. You're building a new internal dictionary based on concepts. Try to picture the English word. When you hear apple, for instance, don't consciously think of your native word for apple. Instead, immediately picture a bright, crisp, red, round, juicy fruit. That's the idea of apple. When you hear the word run, clearly picture the active movement of running, the legs moving, the wind in the hair, the feeling of moving quickly. When you hear the idea word happiness, imagine the pure feeling of joy and being content, rather than simply translating it into your native word for that emotion. This is about making direct connections between ideas and their English names. The English word love isn't just a translation of a word in your language, it directly connects to the deep feeling, the strong emotion, the wide reaching idea of affection, care, and connection. This abstract, direct connection is exactly what native speakers do, often without even realizing it from a very young age. For a powerful exercise for yourself, when you're learning new words, try making mind maps. Put the new English word right in the middle of your page, and then draw lines out to connected ideas, similar words, and clear example sentences, all only in English. Most importantly, strictly avoid writing your native language equivalent anywhere on that map. This big change truly shifts how your brain works, from a difficult word-by-word translation process to a much more efficient and natural concept-to-English word connection, speeding up your journey to natural thinking and understanding. One of the most profound and effective ways to help yourself think directly in English is by regularly journaling. This is your private space to try things out and grow. Start a daily or weekly journal where you commit to writing about your thoughts, your feelings, your daily experiences, and your reflections using only English. The first goal here is not perfect grammar, perfect spelling, or beautiful writing. Absolutely not. It's simply to get your thoughts flowing from your mind directly onto the page in English without stopping to censor yourself or translating first. Just write. This practice is incredibly powerful because it makes you put complex ideas, personal experiences, and detailed feelings directly into English, naturally building your ability to express your inner world with more ease and confidence. Since it's a private space, you can freely try new things, make mistakes, and discover how to truly show what you mean without worrying about being judged. Over time, as you get more comfortable with this free, open way of writing, you can go back to your entries to make your writing better for more accuracy, sophistication, and good style. This private practice becomes a safe, very valuable place for your English mind to grow and get stronger. It's where you truly become comfortable with your own English thoughts. Make English a smooth, natural part of your daily life. This isn't about doing big, hard things, but consistent, small additions that fit naturally into your day. Start by switching simple, everyday tasks to English. For instance, make your grocery lists entirely in English. Instead of just thinking, buy milk, actively write, get milk, or purchase milk. Write your daily to-do lists in English. Plan your schedule, or even quickly write down reminders to yourself using only English. Think about what you need to do tomorrow morning. Wake up early, go for a run at the park, finish the report for work, call Sarah about our plans tonight. Even mentally planning your meals. I'll make chicken for dinner, maybe with some rice and vegetables, and then a fruit salad for dessert. Pushes your brain to use English for immediate practical things. It might seem like a small detail, almost unimportant when you first start, but these consistent, direct connections in real, everyday situations slowly yet powerfully reinforce English as your primary way of thinking for practical tasks. The more parts of your life you subtly add English into, from your deepest, most abstract thoughts to your most ordinary concrete tasks, the more natural and automatic it will become for your brain to use English most of the time. This constant, gentle exposure in meaningful situations truly helps the language sink into your mind. My dear English learners, it's completely natural to feel frustrated, doubt yourself, or even get a bit discouraged sometimes when you're trying to change a deeply rooted habit, especially one as basic as how your brain deals with language. But let's bravely talk about some common problems you might face on this truly life-changing journey and how to gently but firmly move past them. Remember, every challenge is a chance to get better. When it feels incredibly slow and difficult, remember this is a perfectly normal feeling that almost everyone has. Your brain is used to the old, comfortable, and well-worn path of translation. Even though it's not the most efficient, it feels familiar and doesn't need as much immediate mental effort. Think of it like a path you've used a lot in a forest. But creating new brain pathways is like building a brand new road through a thick, unknown forest. It needs energy, focus, and certainly time. It is slow at first, there's no denying that. But rest assured, once that new path is clear, used often, and becomes familiar, moving along it becomes wonderfully easy and fast. The solution here is to start incredibly small and be super patient with yourself. Don't try to tell yourself your whole day in English from the very first moment. Instead, begin with just naming a few key objects. Then slowly move to making very simple sentences. Celebrate every tiny success. Even a few seconds of thinking without translating is a huge, important win in this process. The focused effort you put in now in these seemingly small, steady steps will help you immensely later, truly preparing the way for easy and real communication. Always remember, slow progress is not a failure. It is still definitely progress. Keep pushing forward. When you keep making frustrating mistakes when you don't translate and it feels bad, remember this happens. And it's a clear sign you're making amazing progress. When you don't use translation as a crutch, you have to depend only on what you know directly in English. This knowledge might still be growing, still finding its footing, or perhaps it's not complete yet. The beautiful, freeing truth is that mistakes are not failures. They are incredibly valuable, essential pieces of information for learning. They show you exactly where you need to put your attention. When you notice an awkward way of speaking or a grammar mistake, make a mental note, or even better, write it down later in a notebook. Take the time to look it up in your trusted monolingual dictionary or a good grammar book. The very act of making the mistake and then consciously actively correcting it immediately strengthens the correct way in your brain. This helps you learn much faster and more deeply than if you simply avoided the challenge completely. Welcome mistakes as invaluable feedback from your brilliant brain, guiding you towards being more correct. They are your teachers. When you run out of words or phrases and you get stuck in the middle of a thought, remember, this often happens because your active vocabulary, the words and phrases you can easily produce and use naturally in English thinking or speaking, might be smaller than your receptive vocabulary, which is the larger group of words you understand when you hear or read them. Or it's like having a big library but only a few books you can actually write yourself. The strong solution is to actively read and listen to much more varied English. Read widely, exploring different kinds of writing, from exciting stories to true information, and many different topics that you genuinely find interesting. Listen to a wide range of English podcasts, watch different English content, documentaries, funny shows, news. When you find new words, don't just learn single words by themselves. Make a strong effort to learn how they fit into sentences, common sayings, and natural word combinations. Use English only flashcards with the English word on one side and its clear English meaning or a good example sentence on the other. The more rich, varied, and contextualized English you take in, the more material your brain will have ready when it's creating its own thoughts and ways of speaking. This makes getting stuck much less common. Fill up that mental toolbox. When you feel silly talking to yourself in English, or thinking in English when other people are around and it feels weird, remember this feeling is completely understandable as you're doing something new, something different, an activity you likely haven't done in your native language. It's outside your comfort zone. But I say to you, with the kindest, most encouraging support possible, just push past it. This is your personal training ground, your private lab for fluency, your secret weapon for success. No one else needs to hear it or even know you're doing it unless you choose to tell them. Change your way of thinking about it. See it as a powerful mental exercise, a main part of how you learn language, just like lifting weights for a physical muscle. Remind yourself of what you really want: to speak easily, naturally, and truly master the language. This silly habit, this inner talk, is a direct, proven way to get there. Trust me, every successful bilingual person started right where you are, using these very methods. It's effective and it works. When your brain automatically translates and you just can't seem to stop it, feeling like a reflex, remember this is perhaps the most deeply rooted habit, the strongest brain pathway that has been used many, many times, perhaps for decades. It's a tough one, but not impossible. The solution here is consciously stopping and gently, steadily guiding your thoughts in a new direction. When you notice yourself translating, and you will notice yourself, especially at first, consciously pause. Take a deep, calm breath. Acknowledge the old habit. Then, actively and purposefully try to say the thought or idea directly in English, even if you have to make it very simple at first. It's truly like gently but firmly steering a large, powerful ship in a new direction. It won't turn instantly, it needs steady effort, But with constant, consistent work, that ship will eventually start heading in the right direction more often than not. This is where your patience and strong, steady effort will really show. Most importantly, do not feel bad about translating. Just gently guide your brain back to English every single time. Every redirection, no matter how small, is a step forward. You're retraining your brain. Remember, thinking in English is not a magic switch you simply turn on or off. It is a deep mental muscle you consciously train, develop, and make stronger over time. The more regularly you use it, the stronger, more efficient, and more wonderfully automatic it will become. And that's what we're aiming for: easy communication. My dear English learners, thinking directly in English is, without a doubt, the most vital and life changing bridge to true fluency and truly natural, real communication. It is the main difference between just understanding a language at a basic level and truly living in it, making it a living, breathing part of your mind. This powerful change helps you express your true self, your own thoughts, your unique personality, and your deepest feelings without the clumsy, time consuming, and often frustrating problem of translating. You'll find yourself speaking not just faster, but more naturally, with more confidence and more detail. You'll understand more deeply, catching small meanings and humor that you missed before. And you'll feel much more connected to the English language itself, making it truly yours. It's about unlocking your full potential as an English speaker and experiencing the world, its many people, its vast information, and its rich cultures through a lively, insightful new language lens. It's truly a big step forward for your entire learning journey. So, I strongly encourage you to start this exciting, rewarding journey today. Begin small, be very consistent in your practice, and most importantly, be always patient and kind to yourself during this big change. Every single time you purposefully choose to think in English, even for a short moment, you are building a stronger, more direct connection in your brain. You are laying down the very basic parts of true mental fluency. Over time, you will slowly find those frustrating mental struggles disappearing, replaced by a smooth, easy flow of thought and expression. The English in your head will become as natural, as quick, and as lively as the English you speak. It will truly become a part of who you are, making your communication feel smooth and real. Thank you for joining me today on English in Advance. I truly hope this episode has given you not just information, but also inspiration and practical ideas to take that important next step. Remember, doing it regularly is key. If you found this talk helpful, and I truly hope you did, please remember to like this video, share it with other learners who might benefit, and subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you more valuable content to help you on your amazing English learning journey. I'm Jennifer, and I eagerly look forward to guiding you further in the next episode. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep thinking in English.